Yeah, well, a lot of you know me and have heard me rap on this before. The story began with over 5 years ago when Lynn Brand, who couldn't make it today, and I just had a casual conversation after Fergus Falls Garden Club, said, isn't it a shame we used to, but we don't now in town, and we really should have a farmer's market. So we sort of started out just like a little ragtag band without any organization or rules and regulations. Just come on down, kids, let's put on a show. You want a little spot on the grass in front of the museum. And so it was an interesting start, enthusiastic, but not all that together. And I've also told the story so many times at the end of the season. I was a little disappointed. I'd moved here from California the year before, where we had huge farmers markets that were such a part of our community and life, and I was a little disappointed with how we worked it out. But Janet Lindbergh called me, and she really got us organized. We sort of call her our guardian angel. She started us off on the right track then the next year, helping us to get to become part of the Minnesota Farmers Market Association and Minnesota Grown, to network with other markets in the state and understand how it is to put together guidelines and regulations and applications. And so we got real about it on the second year, and it has just really grown. We now have a market Saturday mornings and Wednesday afternoons in front of on Lincoln Avenue in front of the Museum and Historical Society. We've grown and grown and grown just amazingly. It's been wonderful from the very beginning. We had a goal, even when we weren't so together with our plans. We always had a goal to provide the community with local healthy food and to provide a venue for local growers to sell their wares, as well as artisans to have a place. And so that was always the beginning. The other thing, and really important thing in my mind too, I'm such a conservationist, and anything that we can do to stop that footprint of shipping and warehousing things across the country and having healthy food available that's fresh. So that was always there in our minds. And then thanks with Janet's help, we almost immediately decided that we would like to offer EBT, which is what we used to call food stamps. And that took some doing and figuring out all the guidelines and how we had to set it up for our vendors. But we've been doing that all the time now, and so that's been wonderful. The way that we do it, so our vendors don't have to each apply and have their own equipment and paperwork, is that we do it at our information booth. A lot of the markets do that, and we have the ability to do that because we have Lynn and I, and now Margot, who helps us out with the machinery. We have we're volunteer help, and so we can do that at our information booth so that people can come up with their EBT cards, have them swiped, give them some tokens, which then they can spend around the market, and the vendor and then we reimburse all of the vendors. Because we have that equipment now, we can also take credit cards. So if someone comes to the market and they've spent their $5 or whatever they had in their pocket, they can just bring their credit card to us. We'll swipe it, give them tokens to spend at the market. So that has really increased the sales and the availability for everyone.
And what percentage are the SNAP? Is that what it's called, SNAP?
Yes, the EBT. I'm the mouth and the writer in the group. Lynn does all the paperwork figures, and it isn't as high as we would like. Every year it starts out a little slow, and hopefully we get the word out more, but it's grown and grown and grown, and has really made a difference. And I'm sorry I don't have the exact figure for you. The real exciting thing that happened this year, also thanks to Janet, who was interested in the WIC program for women, infants, and children. It took us a while to get involved with that. Just this year, finally, we have been approved by the Minnesota Department of Agriculture as a market to offer that as well. So that is just now happening, and because the people who are recipients of that get their coupons to go and spend locally for healthy food to help them in their program, it's only for fresh fruits and vegetables. It can only be spent that way. So starting to increase now, and we've had our transactions, and we hope to actually make that grow. And through County Health, as they can tell their recipients that we're out there and we've got the goods for them, and we hope that that grows and grows too. The other exciting thing that we started this year that fits in with our guidelines, a number of years ago, actually, it started in Oregon City, Oregon at a farmer's market. It's called the POP program. POP stands for the Power of Produce, and it's strictly for children. And this is how it works. Kids come to the market, say between the age of 5 and 12, and are given $2 in tokens. I use my husband poker chips for this. And so they're given 2 tokens, each is worth $1, and with the caveat that then they can go through the market, but they can only spend it on fresh fruits and vegetables. So the whole idea is to start to introduce kids to some good healthy food, get them excited about making the choices themselves and taking it home with mom and baking and cooking it. So we did that once last year to try it out. This is now done all across the United States, the program. We tried it out. We thought that would be fun. Let's see what happens. Well, we had 100 kids show up with their parents and their brothers and sisters. There wasn't parking for I think a mile around the museum that day. So it was so wonderfully successful. We realized that we really had an opportunity to expand this whole idea for children in the community. And but it cost us $200, and we're a nonprofit organization. So fortunately, it was such a good program that the Unitarian Underwood Church.
Why do you think you had such a great turnout? Did you advertise?
Well, I put an article in the local newspaper, for one thing, telling people about it. And also, I write a weekly newsletter for the market. We have 400 subscribers to our newsletter. So that really puts out the word for anything that we're doing and what's going on. And
parents still have limited time. That had to be important to them.
Yeah.
Did you get feedback from parents? Oh, thank you for doing this. This is a great thing. I want to teach my kids about this.
Absolutely, and that's why we wanted to continue the program, because it was important to the community, obviously, and it was successful beyond our imagination. We thought, wow, no wonder this has become a good program across the United States, and how can we continue this? So then we heard about the empowerment grant at the Underwood Unitarian Church. They give it out to a lot of groups. I think bicycling, didn't they usually? Are you recipients there too? Yeah, good for them. So we applied for that and we received it. So we have enough money to do it 4 times this year. We can't do it every week like some of the markets do without further endowments, but once a week. So we've done our first one. Our second one will be the first Saturday in August, and then the first Saturday in September, and the first Saturday in October. Along with that program of just giving them the $2 to go buy healthy food at the market, we try to incorporate some other good fun things, like an art booth where they could just come and color fresh fruits and vegetables and have them tacked up on the canopy. We had one of our vendors last year, and she'll be doing it again, makes fairy gardens. So she provided all the materials for kids to come to her booth, and she helped them and showed them how to take the materials and make their own fairy garden. Some of the other vendors who do jewelry help them to create their own pendants and bracelets. What am I forgetting? This time when we started, I did a treasure hunt, and that was, I think, probably the most fun and successful part of the market. Other than buying fruits and vegetables, I hid 9 items around the market, gave them the printout list. It was things like, let's see, one was, hey, bees and butterflies, let's pollinate. And of course, what they had to find was in the honey booth, I had some milkweed flowers in a vase. And so they had to have all these things checked out, and then we gave prizes for people who participated. And one of the other fun things we did, and Heather just walked in late and didn't get to introduce herself, but thanks to Jason, she's been our intern. We're sharing with the gardens, and we're telling her we're not sure we want her to go back to school. I think we need her here. And so she initiated and worked on a table where they could come and plant sunflower seeds and take them home. So lots of things going on. The most popular one of all, I forgot. One of our vendors made a big chocolate cake, cut it into squares, and let them come and decorate their pieces with sprinkles. That was a popular one, of course. So we have all of these things going, and it's just been a wonderful thing. I feel for the community. We have more and more people that just come and hang out. We've got picnic tables there so they can get their scones or their croissants or their treats and sit down and talk to their friends and neighbors. Also, because I wanted to encourage the community to really have the market be their place. I have a free canopy. I won it at the Minnesota Farmers Market Association, so there it is, an extra. So any local organization can sign up to use that free canopy and space any market day. If they have a fundraising, if they have something they want to promote, if they just want to come and talk to their friends. And I think that's been an excellent thing that we did to just make the market grow. It's just been a most wonderful experience. I think out of the cities, outside the cities, the Fergus Falls Farmers Market is now one of the biggest in the state. And we have just such an array. This isn't just produce. We have a lot of craft people that do wonderful things, wonderful bakers. Oh my goodness. And beyond that, we now have 2 organic meat vendors. One organic cheese vendor, which I was thrilled to have join our market this year. And then, of course, we have the salmon from Alaska. Kevin will be back, I think, in a couple of weeks with his salmon. So there's just such an array of things there, and I just couldn't be happier. And Elizabeth Hatling came and played music. We sometimes had musicians.
So it's Wednesdays and Saturdays?
Saturday morning 9 to 1, Wednesdays 2 to 5:30.
Okay. And how many vendors typically do you have?
Over 20, especially as the season goes on. In the beginning of a season, we won't have as many because the produce isn't out yet. But as soon as the produce start coming in, then it starts building. 20, 25, 30. And last year we actually had, I think, over 50 registered paid sign vendors. But of course, some of them maybe specialize in pumpkins and corn, so they may not come until later in the season.
Now, Jason and Sam, you guys, because you work with Janet, might know. So this kid thing, do you attend? Aren't there like farmers markets meetings that they all have on occasion? And
oh yeah.
So do you share these ideas?
Oh, absolutely,
so
absolutely.
Like the Detroit Lakes Farmers Market, which I went to Saturday, I didn't notice that they were doing this with kids, but they. So regionally, we're sharing all these ideas.
Absolutely. Lynn and I go to the state convention, farmers market convention, and it's usually near the cities every year. And we also have a division of the Northwest farmers markets, which is always every year in Crookston, and we go and network there and have classes and share all the successes and failures and anything that's going on within our markets. And then I think we get together at other smaller meetings and talk within the ones closer within our district.
Yeah, so she's actively involved in those. I don't think we have an active network of farmers markets in our 4 counties, but
no.
Occasionally Janet has.
Yeah, we overlap because we're all interested in the same projects and
Diane's also involved
purposes.
With that Central Local Food Network, and that's kind of a different spin, but so there's different meetings, but yeah, we appreciate the enthusiasm and all that you've been doing. It makes me think about the elderly population,
Yeah.
that
I was
how they
sitting here
could be
listening.
connected more to this project.
Yeah, socializing's huge for the aging.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking the whole time when you're.
You know, this is one thing that's been in the back of Lynn and my mind, and we've tried to figure out if there's some way we can network and do this. We would love to get like maybe the local bus service to go around on market days to some of the homes, and we actually talked to them at one time about that, and we've never had it just fall into place in the right way. But if we could bring some of our elderly to the market, and even have some of our young people. We have so many young people that work and help us in the market. They're children and grandchildren of the vendors. And
That's where maybe incorporating the senior coordinator, Nancy Boss. She does a lot of the housing tours and things. I think the farmers market tour would be great for,
yeah, and
seniors.
that's one reason we have all the picnic tables from the city so that
Yes.
they can sit.
I've driven by and I've seen them just full.
Yeah.
People are sitting around visiting, and
Yeah.
I think that would be a great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
no, I
might even
will.
get
I'll
a
connect with you.
kick out of helping
Oh,
those kids
yeah.
in that thing,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
That's
And
socialization.
it's-
community garden too.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't seen that, and I'm looking forward to seeing that on Tuesday. And that would be a great thing. Just have a tour of the whole thing.
And if there was
Farmers
a
market,
bus,
garden.
like you said, that could stop at the Senior Citizen Center, it could be on their calendar that pick up for the
Yes.
farmer's market. A place to belong,
Yep.
pick up time for the farmers.
Oh, that's what we'd love to have.
And could it be replicated in like Perm? Because they have a huge farmer's market and they have a community garden, and in
Yeah.
Detroit Lakes.
And do you have the matching dollars too for, is it SNAP or? something?
Yeah,
They
there's a
spend-
market box that is part of the
Would you wanna
program.
know about that too? Because can't they get, if they spend 10, they get 10 or something?
It changed this, it was 5 last year, it's 10 this year, the market
For-
bucks. That's if you have the EBT card, then it's an extra bonus.
Right, so
When you use your EBT card,
So you get $10.
and it's just thrilling to have people come and have, maybe not that much money on their food stamps card, and then to be given an extra, $10 to spend. I mean, it's wonderful.
How has the WIC been going, and how many vendors would you say?
I think we had 6 or 7 that went through the training they had to do, and I suspect it'll be more next year as they see how it works out. And we've only had our first few sales just a week ago because there wasn't the produce really available until now. Now it's coming in big time.